Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena Mana Burn. This is going to be the series where we take on combo lists that only the maddest, laddest individuals would even want to actually combo with. And today we're going to be playing a Faeburrow combo deck, and this one is built around the card Faeburrow Elder, which is a 3-mana 0/0 with Vigilance. It gets +1/+1 for each colour among permanents you control, and then for each colour among permanents you control, you add 1 mana of that colour. So this is going to be producing a hell of a lot of mana, hopefully, anyway, by as early as turn 3, turn 4-ish. And we're going to be comboing that with the Gauntlets of Light. So this is actually going to be a rebuild of an old combo list we played, but Faeburrow Elder is definitely going to be a strict upgrade to that list. So Gauntlets of Light is a 3-mana enchantment aura, which you can attach to one of your creatures, and it says that its combat damage is assigned to, using toughness rather than power, which is irrelevant. However, the actual reason we're running this card is for the additional ability on the card, the 2 and white, to untap this creature, which basically means if Faeburrow Elder produces 4 mana, then we have infinite mana thanks to the Gauntlets of Light, because we tap for 4 on the Gauntlets of Light Faeburrow Elder, and then we pay the 3 to untap it, which actually nets us 1 mana in the process. So we're going to be comboing that with a 3-colour mana base, so by default this should be producing 3 colours using Teferi, Time Raveler, and Witching Well, and even Brazen Borrower as our blue sources. The rest will come on Faeburrow Elder itself, because by default this is going to be a 3-mana 2/2 with Vigilance that taps for 2 mana, so it's already pretty good. So we get our blue mana from our Witching Well, which helps us to scry and find our combo pieces, Brazen Borrower to slow down our opponent and allow us to buy some time, and Teferi, Time Raveler to basically disrupt our opponent, again to buy us some time to allow us to produce our combo. It's a little bit glass cannon-y, but that is the nature of Mana Burn in a nutshell. But alternative to the Faeburrow Elder, we can also attach it to the Incubation Druid, which when adapted actually adds 3 mana of any type a land could produce as well. So this could actually add additional colours of mana based on whatever we want, and we just basically tap for white infinitely, untap, and then use the infinite mana then to use untapping to filter our mana from future taps. It's going to be a long combo. I'm going to be doing some fast forwarding if we do end up winning some games with this deck, so we're going to be cutting out a lot of the stuff. I would say though, if you've got no free time, this is not the deck for you, because it will take a while to combo and win if your opponents refuse to leave. But also, I've not mentioned really how we're going to get the additional mana from this, because Incubation Druid on its own only adds 3 and we need 4 mana. Well, we're actually going to be using Leyline of Abundance, and this is a 4-mana enchantment which actually goes into play at the beginning of the game if you have it in your opening hand, which is absolutely what we want. We want to be mulliganing until we got a Leyline of Abundance, ideally. We're not really going to win very well without it. We can get there using like Bond of Flourishing to find our pieces, Witching Well as well to scry until we find our Leyline. But until Leyline is in play, none of our mana docks are really going to produce the mana that we need them to, because this actual enchantment says whenever you tap a creature for mana, add an additional green. It's also a win condition as well. With the 6 and double green, you can put a counter on each creature you control. So if you've got infinite mana, that means you can produce infinite green, which means you can activate that activated ability as much as humanly possible. So it's pretty good there. We've got Gilded Goose as another ramp source. Paradise Druid is a 5-colour ramp source as well. So we can really make good use of this Leyline Abundance. And then right at the very top end, we've got Kenrith the Returned King, which I would want it to be 3 copies of, but I'm struggling with Mythics at the moment. 3 copies is what you ideally want, and you can cut something like a Paradise Druid to fit in the Kenrith, the 3rd one. But he's really, really good as kind of a way to guarantee that we win, because what we can do as our win con is essentially make infinitely huge creatures with Leyline of Abundance, but we can't really give them evasion, unfortunately. Unless we've got a Gilded Goose in play untapped. That's one way to actually do it. We've got the evasion or the flying then with the Gilded Goose, since we can make this infinitely powered as well thanks to the Leyline Abundance activations. But Kenrith actually has, as part of his red, which we can get off of either Gilded Goose for 5 colours of mana, or the Paradise Druid for 5 colours of mana. We can give Trample and Haste, as well as actually having a cheaper, quicker way to actually put counters on creatures with the 1 and a green there. We also, if we have him in play, we have infinite life. We can also draw infinite cards. And if we have a black source in play, as we mentioned, Paradise Druid or Gilded Goose, then we can reanimate creatures as well if we really choose to do so. Honestly, the possibilities are endless with Kenrith. It's really fun when you have a Kenrith on board and you're comboing, but it is definitely possible to combo without him. He's not actually a combo piece requirement necessarily. It's all dependent on the board state, really. There is a sideboard sort of planned out, but I'm not going to go into the best of 3s just yet with this list because it is a little bit flimsy. I'm trying to make it a little less flimsy before I go into allowing our opponents to sideboard against what we're doing and then just inevitably lose to it. But yeah, without further ado, if you do enjoy this kind of content, make sure to hit that like button. But we're going to get into the games. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you at the end of the video. Okay, we're in, and, well, we don't have a ley line, but we also don't have any green mana either, so this is a really easy mulligan for us. Ideally, well, we've got the combo. We just need ourselves a ley line of abundance. I think I'm going to keep this hand. I think it's fine. So we're going to keep it and dump the Gauntlets of Light, I think. I think just having the mana dorks is going to be good enough for us, hopefully anyway. But this is a turn 2 Faeburrow Elder off of the Gilded Goose, which is definitely something I'm thinking about. Black mana for our opponents, not good for us. Might have to find an opportunity where we can actually go off through removal. It's definitely possible. Mono discard against the combo deck. Well, it's fun while it lasted. Let's just get rid of a land, I suppose. That will just draw one anyway. And we did. Okay, well, let's just go with the Faeburrow Elder. We do have to use the Gilded Goose mana here, but what we can do is we can just use the 2 mana off the Faeburrow Elder to just produce another food, which puts Gilded Goose back into action. But he's actually also producing enough to play Ley Line of Abundance next turn if we do top deck that, which would be very nice. We'll see. I imagine he's going to die. But we're at hardcast Faeburrow Elder at this point anyway, so not too fussed. Ashiok, we don't really care about. We do care when they hit our Ley Line of Abundance, though. That really sucks. Yep, certainly not too pleased about that. Well, we've got a Witching Well, which actually gives us another point on the Faeburrow Elder, which is very nice. And honestly, because Ashiok is going to get a mill in, I should probably put things to the top that I don't want them to mill away. So let's get that in there. And we can send in the Clowns at Ashiok. They'll block with their Fenlurker, no doubt. Yep. So let's get that in there. And I think we just want to... I think we'll go Faeburrow Elder. Actually, we really need Gauntlets of Light in play. But it puts us in a weird spot, honestly, because if they have another Fenlurker, we lose our Gauntlets. Could just draw another one, I suppose. Bond of Flourishing does find it all. Yeah, I think maybe I'll just get another Faeburrow Elder in there. And pass the turn, make a food on end step. So Ashiok gets rid of 2 cards we know we don't want. And we do kind of have a decent attacking force, honestly. So, 2 cards we know we didn't want, and a 3 fairy in a land. Okay. That's not too bad. Our odds of drawing a ley line just increased, and our odds of winning just went to 0. So let's go to the next game. Oh boy, actually, hang on. Let's see what we top deck. An Incubation Druids. We'll play this out. We'll play it out, but I don't like my odds. We need a land to activate the Incubation Druid, and then we need a Ley Line of Abundance. And then we need a Gauntlets of Light. Yeah, this is actually like Nightmare on Earth kind of scenario for us, I think. We really didn't want our board wiping there, and we certainly did not want discard. Our opponent runs over our Kenrith. It's not a ley line, though. As long as it's not a ley line, we're fine. Okay. Well, I guess we could bounce Witching Well to put some crap on top so Ashiok doesn't get it. Then again, if I bounce Fenlurker and just play whatever I need off the top, kind of running on like...
I have a plan.
I was kind of hoping that we wouldn't actually hit anything worthwhile and we'd just get like a free filter through the deck. But they actually hit something we kind of wanted. We don't need it. We've got the Incubation Druids. We did need those 2 ley lines though, so I think this is officially where I'm going to say goodbye. And let's go to the next game. Okay, we're in, and we've got turn 1 Gilded Goose on a Leyline of Abundance. We have our combo as well, because we have Incubation Druid and Gauntlets of Light. We don't need Faeburrow Elder. And even if we draw Faeburrow Elder, then we have Teferi Time Raveler. The only stickler here is that we're running on a 1-lander, so it's gonna be a tricky one, honestly, as to whether or not we can get away with this. We're gonna need a 2nd land just to be on the safe side. Opponent with the Cauldron Familiar, okay. Very beatable, and we've got a nice turn 1 play here, so Gilded Goose. Gives me a blocker for the Cauldron Familiar. Priest of the Forgotten Gods is Nightmare on Earth kind of scenarios for us, unfortunately. We could shock in to actually Brazen Borrower that, and then we don't have to worry about it. Yeah, Brazen Borrow it back to their hand, play Incubation Druid off the Gilded Goose, something like that. It's not really gonna progress us too much, but it's probably better than not doing it. So let's add green mana. Go Incubation Druid. And then we'll just do it now. Brazen Borrower. Get rid of your Priest of Forgotten Gods. Contend with that later. So we need to get Incubation Druid to a point where it can produce 4 mana, which is going to be awkward. I mean, we can use Teferi Time Raveler next turn to bounce something here. Absolutely just going to chump block that. If they had a shock, they should use it anyway. Another Incubation Druid. Okay. So yeah, I think we just go Teferi, bounce, hope for a land.
Let's slow this down.
Let's get rid of Dreadhorde Butcher.
Might be a bad idea.
That's an awful draw. Okay. So we're going to lose Teferi, but we slowed our opponent down. That's all he's here for, it mostly anyway. Legion Warboss. Okay. Instead of the Dreadhorde Butcher, it's interesting. Well, he's dead anyway, so no point wasting my time blocking. Alright. So I could do Leyline, which produces more mana. Produces 3 on the Incubation Druid without having to adapt. I already have the ability to adapt my Incubation Druid and make a food token as it stands. So I think that's probably what I want to do on my turn. It doesn't look like they have removal, so if I can adapt my turn, next turn they just lose. Since I have the Gilded Goose here, I'm just not going to block anything, because I don't need to. So they need to have like Bedevil or Shock, something like that. And looking at my stuff, maybe they've got it. They know definitely have to attack him with 1 creature, so maybe they're thinking about that. They might be trying to catch my adapt on end step. For that reason, I'm going to block and block. Make sure I get that damage in. I'll prevent that damage, sorry. If they have the shock, they were going to use it. Chandra, Acolyte of Flame. And I think we've just won.
More control. Just let me burn.
Put a loyalty counter on Planeswalkers. We're going to adapt our Incubation Druid, which means it adds 4 mana.
Study? Focus? I just want to burn stuff already.
And yeah, we just go Gauntlets of Light on Incubation Druids, so that we can tap it for white, untap it for 1 green mana netted. Whole lot of mana, I know. But yeah, we can produce infinite mana now. So it's just a matter of if our opponent wants to scoop. Because we have a lethal threat in the air that we know that our opponent can do nothing about. So yeah, I'll see you in about 10 minutes, guys, when I've produced enough mana to win the game. Or until our opponent scoops, of course. Gonna add another Leyline of Abundance to play now that we've got an exceptional amount of mana that stops me from whiffing. So we produce another point of mana. We've basically doubled the speed of which we actually go off. I'm also adding creatures to the board as well, just to demonstrate to our opponent that they can't win. Maybe eventually they notice. So we can produce blue mana now. Basically, I can play my entire hand. So I'm getting this Brazen Borrower out. Fart in their face, as Brazen Borrowers want to do. And I'm also doing this just in case they think that they have an out, so we can produce an Incubation Druid. We can also go for Bond of Flourishing. I was hoping maybe there for another Leyline to speed this up, but beggars can't be choosers. Counter on each creature, and that's the loop. So it's just a matter of our opponent scooping. Yeah, demonstrated the loop. We've got a Gilded Goose ready to attack. They've got no blockers. We have to do that about 21 times, which is obviously a bit tilting. But we can also attack it and force them to block with all of their stuff as well, which can maybe even encourage them to do that. With a Kenrith in play, we can actually give all of these things haste and trample, so it goes a whole lot quicker, as well as being able to add an additional counter for 2 mana instead of 8 mana, I think, on the Leyline of Abundance. So it goes a hell of a lot quicker with Kenrith, but without him we can still do it. Cool, next game. Alrighty then, we're in, and got an interesting hand, actually. We got turn 2 Paradise Druid. We can then get to Fairy out, bounce some stuff. It's not got the combo in it, but it's got the let's find the combo kind of cards. So honestly, I'm almost interested in keeping this one. But as a rule of thumb, you really want one of your combo pieces in hand. So either Leyline, Gauntlets, or Faeburrow Elder. And since we don't really have them and we can't guarantee we're going to get them, I'm going to take the free mull. And yeah, look at that. We got Leyline, we got turn 1 Gilded Goose. We can put 1 Kenrith to the bottom, since we don't need multiples. And we got turn 1 Gilded Goose. Get that Witching Well in for some scry. And actually we might be in a reasonable spot. Get down an early Kenrith perhaps and see what we can do with that. Always the black mana. Sanitarium Skeleton, alright, well, my odds of winning just increased. So that's good. Let's just shock in so we don't have to use the food and then go for a Witching Well. Looking for Gauntlets and Faeburrow Elder, so definitely absolutely none of what I've just seen there do I want in my hand. And yeah, let's just pass. So turn 3 Kenrith by the looks of it. Is that what I'm looking at? That might be what I'm looking at. I think it is. Alright. Ooh, Faeburrow Elder. Maybe we want to play Faeburrow Elder instead. Kenrith is definitely, like, kind of gonna make winning quite easy. But if I go with the Kenrith plan, I lose my token and then I'm not really producing mana on Gilded Goose. So I think maybe go for the Faeburrow Elder, which is going to produce 4 mana for me. So we're going to have lots of mana left over. And we'll say no attacks. And if we get Gauntlets of Light off the top, we just win. So we've already established the majority of our combo. So Kenrith can actually draw cards. And we'll use that to go find our Gauntlets of Light, probably. They've probably got hard removal if I had to guess. Foulmire Knight, okay. So power and toughness isn't really going to matter. Incubation Druid, you say? Well, that's an alternative to Faeburrow Elder. So let's get in with the Elder. Since it has Vigilance, we can attack him with it and then tap it for mana in the second main, which we'll use to play Kenrith, which should hopefully divert some of their attention to Kenrith instead of our Faeburrow Elder, which is actually our win con. So Faeburrow Elder actually produces 4 mana, which is pretty sweet. And then we get down a Kenrith, and we can use that to draw some cards if we really want to. I think I might go for an Incubation Druid here, actually. The only downside is maybe a Ritual of Soot, but it's been a long time since I've seen one of them. And we get left with a Kenrith anyway, which can actually produce 5 life per turn, which is kind of nice. So, worst case scenario, we can like use Gilded Goose to put a counter on something. Incubation Druid, in fact, is one way to do it. I might actually do that, regardless of what our opponent does here, just because then it adapts the Incubation Druid, allowing it to make 4 mana, which is all we need for it to produce infinite 3 colours of mana, similar to the Faeburrow Elder. And that's 2 targets for Gauntlets of Light at that point. So, Kenrith, pretty nice bait, but also going to enable a bit of our combo as well. And having Incubation Druid producing mana is much better than having Gilded Goose producing mana. That's a Death Toucher, okay. So, fortunately for us, we've got the opponent that runs a bit of a casual deck. Not even a bit. An absolute casual deck. Let's put a counter on Incubation Druid so we've got all the mana in the world. And maybe see if we can draw some cards. We can draw 2 with the Witching Well. So let's go with blue on Incubation Druid so we can produce the 4 mana. It is going to stop Faeburrow Elder from being able to produce enough mana, but with Incubation Druid that shouldn't matter. So let's Witching Well. Gilded Goose and Bond of Flourishing. Bond could find our Gauntlets. It doesn't. It does get Brazen Borrower, though, which can allow us to put that blue card back into play. So that's kind of nice. And how do we want to go with this? We go Temple Garden, shock it in. So we can produce the 2 here, and then also go Gilded Goose. And Gilded Goose makes some food. We could use that to draw a card as well on the Kenrith. It's definitely a possibility. But I don't mind where we're at right now. And definitely not attacking in since they've got the 1/1 Death Toucher. We are literally waiting on Gauntlets of Light at this point, so there is a good excuse to actually draw cards. Witch's Oven, okay. So, Cauldron Familiar not too far behind, I imagine. Revenge of Ravens. Whenever a creature attacks you, drain for 1. That literally matters not to me. Easy peasy. Let's see how they attack. I'll probably just Brazen Borrow something. Almost certainly anyway, so. We don't care about the Revenge of Ravens, we don't care about the Witch's Oven. The Foulmire Knight is annoying, but with the flyers in the air right now, if we draw the Gauntlets of Light, we're just going to win on infinite damage in the air alone. So, opponent deciding they don't want to attack. It wasn't going to work out for them anyway. They knew it, because we'd already revealed this card. Such a flatulent, this Brazen Borrower. Such a flatulent. Alright, let's see. Let's go land drop. Let's draw a card with Kenrith. Come on, Gauntlets. It's a Paradise Druid. Okay. Let's go produce some blue. Draw a card with Kenrith. More incubation druids. Okay. It's a question as to whether or not I actually even continue working through the or adding to the board, sorry. If they've got board wipes, then we're not in a good spot. This actually doesn't add blue, so I could actually go with blue here. Draw a card. And then we'll use the last 2 mana if we fizzle to just put a counter on something. Put a counter on... on Kenrith. Puts him out of Obnixilus's cruelty range, I guess. That's my reasoning. And we'll say no attacks. Still waiting on our combo piece. Still need to dodge removal, but we've got Brazen Borrower, which adds mana on the Faeburrow Elder. Still got 1 active Gilded Goose as well. And Incubation Druid's ready for a Gauntlet of Light whenever the time comes. So, Cauldron Familiar for our opponent. So, combos quite well with the Witch's Oven. Sacrifices it, and then you can use the food token it creates to return it. So, opponent's tapped out. That's really good for us. That means we are not afraid of whatever our opponent can do here. And they're just going to go in right away with the Witch's Oven. Opponent not messing about. Just want to get their priority out of the way so that we get to do whatever we want. Which is fair enough, I suppose. Alright, my turn. Leyline. Dang it. Okay. So, let's just use Gilded Goose to add some mana. 3... we should add green. Just all green. Leyline gives all of my mana dorks a little bit more value, which means Faeburrow Elder now taps for 4 mana, which is all we need it to do. Let's go with blue mana on the Incubation Druid. Opponent with the good game. Don't know if they know what a good game is, but sure. And we've even got 1 mana left over, so we can keep going. Keep drawing cards. Come on, Gauntlets. Okay, well. Let's just play another Faeburrow Elder. Rather than another Leyline. Not sure it really makes a difference, but here we are. And pass the turn. We're just really struggling to find that 1 combo piece. According to our deck tracker, there's a 10% chance that the top card of our deck is actually going to be a Gauntlet of Light. 10%. Which is actually not the case because we got all these cards at the bottom here which we know about, which means the odds are actually even bigger than 10%. Probably coming up to about 13, maybe-ish. 13, 14%, something like that. Opponent with the Plague Crafter, we'll just get rid of a Gilded Goose, I suppose. We've already got the Brazen Borrow. With infinite mana, we can bounce that Aerialist out of the way anyway. And this looks familiar. Hit me for 5. Sure, help yourself. Gauntlet of Light. Off the top. Bond of Flourishing can find me Gauntlets of Light. Goes a bit deeper than Kenrith does. Still whiffing. Okay. Well, just hit the land. Let's use one of these to draw a card. Still whiffing. Cool. With the good game again. Wow, that's so good. Let's just go with a Leyline number 3. Draw a card. Still whiffing. Gotcha, gotcha. Okay. Well, in that case... Guess we're just shocking our Hollowed Fountain. There we go. Pass the turn. I mean, we can just make loads and loads of life, so it really doesn't matter if we shock ourselves or not. Kenrith for 3 mana and white actually allows you to gain 5 life, so... We can even chump with this Gilded Goose, we can Brazen Borrow, we can do so much on our turn, we're just choosing not to do half of it. All we have to do is dodge hard removal on... Well, even hard removal on Kenrith is still not defeat. It's a board wipe or bust for our opponent at this point. They literally have lost. They just don't know it, I think. Because they can attack me for 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever they want. I'm going to gain 5 for 3 mana. Uh-huh. Foulmire Knight. Just a 1/1. Which they can attack him with if they feel like it. It's fine by me. And... boing. You ready to get farted on by a fairy? Here we go. Here he comes. Oh, he's coming. He's farting. He's ready. You ready? Oh! Oh! God, he made a mess. Alright, let's use 2 of that mana to make a food token just so Gilded Goose adds some mana for us as well for next turn. I have a hard time seeing how we could possibly whiff from this point. I truly, truly do. So they can drain us a little bit with the Cauldron combo. This is great. They don't know awfully slow combos until they've met our combo. Tell you right now. They're going to wish that they gave priority over back to me. I did have 2 mana there that I should have spent. But it's fine, because I'm going to win right now. Here we go. Winning... Oh my god, seriously? Okay, well, take your Incubation Druid. This is going very well. So we can actually go with the Brazen Borrower. We'll add blue mana here, I suppose. Which actually produces an additional mana on the Faeburrow Elders. Which also includes blue. So let's draw a card. Another Faeburrow Elder. Eventually we'll get there. Hey, we've done it. Alright, are you ready to win, chat? Are you ready to win? Gauntlets of Light on Faeburrow Elder. Let's have infinitely huge creatures, please. Including a flyer, so I'm getting a guaranteed 21 damage in right the hell now. Alright, so add mana. Untap this creature. Every time we do this, we net mana. Good game. You lose. Untap this creature. There we go. Untap this creature. And we just keep doing this until the end of time, really. It's a shame we have 2 Faeburrow Elders, because apparently they can't decide which side they want to be on. But, yeah, we've just got so much mana at this point that it's not going to take us very long at all to get to a point where we have a lethal amount. We can activate 2 mana per counter on one of our creatures. We're going to put it on the Gilded Goose, of course. And just combo off like crazy. Could even do trample on the Kenrith. We could use all of our mana on Leyline of Abundance to put a counter on each of the creatures. It's one way of doing it, for sure. If I went with a Faeburrow Elder, would I be able to produce more mana more quickly? I don't know, actually. Good game, opponent. Yep. We can actually use some of this blue mana to go and draw our entire deck if we really choose to do so. And from that point, we could actually find more Brazen Borrowers to get rid of blockers. We can get another Gauntlet of Light, so we can attach it to another creature if we really want to, which allows us to untap more creatures at a time, but it's not really going to speed us up too much. And the last time we played this, the game really didn't like this combo. It would tell us to do something else, otherwise we'd get banned. But they've actually since fixed the ability there. So this is probably inefficient, honestly. We can just do it this way instead. Since they've only got 1 mana left open, it's not going to take us very long at all to do it this way. Got 5 colours of mana on the Gilded Goose. We're going to honk them to death. And it's going to be fantastic. Good game. Don't know why they're still here, but they must love what we're doing. For sure. And yeah, it's basically... It's impossible to whiff on this one, because we've already got an untapped Gauntlets. As long as we've got an untapped Gauntlets and 3 mana, there's really nothing to worry about whatsoever. I think our opponent is hoping that we'll whiff, and we absolutely won't. We've also got to keep in mind that there's a Cauldron's Familiar and a Witch's Oven there, so we're just going to overkill our opponent, if that's what they're really hoping for. Even then, we can actually respond during combat to add additional power to any creature we choose to do so as well. So there's really no issue there. So, you know. Could use that infinite mana to go get a Gauntlet of Light, which we can stick on any of our 5 colour producing creatures, like Gilded Goose, which allows us then to add the red mana we need for Kenrith to give haste to all of our creatures and trample in case they have blockers. It's honestly, it's unbeatable at this point, so... Opponent's gone for a drink. Sure, you do that. But, oh no, they haven't. They're still here. I saw a flicker. Are they hoping this will change? Because it won't change. None of this is going to change. I'm going to keep on tapping mana and putting counters on things until the end of time. Or until we get to a 22 powered honker in the air. Good game. I know you're there. Because I can see you hovering my graveyards and hovering my cards. We've also got Revenge of Ravens to keep in mind as well. They just hovered that for me to remind me, so thanks, opponent. As I mentioned, I was just going to overkill them anyway. So none of whatever they're planning has got any impact on my plans here. As I mentioned, we could even go into the rest of our deck and grab another Gauntlets to untap the Gilded Goose so we can produce infinite coloured mana of any colour, including red, to give all of our creatures trample. Which we could take through the Leyline of Abundance plan as well to make them all infinitely huge, but it just takes a lot longer. So we're going to do it this way instead. Tap, untap. We're producing so much mana in such a short space of time, actually. It's just a shame that spending it takes so long. There we go. So, put counter on there. Also, Kenneth over here, he's very generous. So he's just going to go and do this. There we go. It's one of the rules of Magic. You actually can't win with Kenneth the Returned King unless you actually give your opponent something in return. Because, little do you know, he's actually a charitable individual. He likes to give. He's a giver. So we're going to empty our pool here. That's going to be the overkill that I need here to end this game. There is no Fatal Push in Standard, so there's no one black card that can actually win our opponent the game here. Even if there was, I'm just going to do this all in combat, and if they kill Gilded Goose, I'll just reapply it to another creature instead and swing that way. And yeah, they've finally had enough. We're at 25. Their outs are that I was very stupid, and I was not very stupid. I went way above their life total, and yeah, Ravens and the Witch's Oven. Just not going to be good enough there. Alright, well, that's the combo. As I mentioned, it's very slow and tedious when you get there, but it's fun to try and assemble it all the same. It's a little puzzle that you've got to work your way through. But hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, then make sure to hit that little bell icon. Give you notifications when I go live in the future. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for a video tomorrow, but I'm sure it's going to be entertaining. So make sure to hit that subscription button so that you can see what I come up with tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed the deck. As mentioned, this is a fun deck. It is a bit flimsy. It does basically fall to removal and fast aggro. Can also be a problem, but with Bond of Flourishing gaining life and hopefully a turn 3 Kenneth gaining 5 life as well, you can also win that way, as well as obviously make sure to put 3 Kenneths in here and go down a Paradise Druid, something like that. Will do you just fine. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.